Hello guys, we are here in Budapest, capital city of Hungary, or like the local would say, Budapest. So Hungary is a Central European country. Don't say Eastern European while you're visiting Hungary. The locals apparently doesn't really like it. So right now just chilling in the Airbnb, figuring out where to go and what to see. So there is a lot of things to do here. Hopefully it will be fun. Hopefully we will see some interesting things and interesting sights, maybe even learn some new fun facts or interesting facts about Budapest and Hungary. So join me, let's visit the city and let's see what this is all about. Alright, the Parliament, the iconic building of Budapest. Let's get a little bit closer, let's have a better look at this beautiful building. Okay, here we are. So Budapest is actually a unification of three smaller cities, Buda, Ubuda and Pest. The unification happened in 1873 and the parliament has been inaugurated in 1896 to celebrate the 1000th anniversary of the country. So in 896, nomad tribes from across Europe and Asia settled this area to become what we know today as the Hungarian nation or the Magyar. The Basilica, Sunday, early morning, nothing much going on, but this is going to change in the afternoon, as we'll see in a little bit. So, a fun fact about the Basilica. As you may remember, we said that the different nomad tribes settled here in 896. And so the dome that you saw on top of the Basilica is precisely 96 meters as a remembrance for that year. And here we are at the Basilica, back same day in the afternoon. As you can see, everything has changed around, so there is a lot of people right now. Everyone's just strolling around, checking out the cafes, the different places. And right in front of it, there is this Christmas market. So it serves as a Christmas market at winter, during Christmas, obviously. But right now it's just full of like different stands where you can buy food and drink and just sit around, and the weather is beautiful, so people just enjoy it. So now we are just walking around through the 7th district of Budapest, which is the most central one. This is pretty much where all of the tourist attractions are. It's pretty much where everything happens, from shops, restaurants, cafes to nightlife. And there is a lot of nightlife going on. So I walked around on Friday evening and the city is just crazy. I mean, at least this district is just crazy with bars and people hanging out. With the nice weather, there's a lot of places, like outside places. So this is just really, really nice district if you want to visit Budapest and be near, pretty much near everything. I would say the 7th district is like the place where you should book your stay. So there's probably a lot of Airbnbs going on around here, but also a lot of hotels like really expensive ones, some of them just around the spot where we are walking right now. So the stroll around the 7th continues. As you can see right here on this footage, it's really tidy. Like the city is clean, the streets are like really well maintained, and everything just looks nice. Now, I've visited a few cities in the Eastern Europe. Well, not all of them, maybe not even that many, but some. And to be honest, like the impression I have of Budapest is that it really doesn't look like a Eastern European country, and I think that it makes more sense to actually say that it is a Central European country. Geographically it is, and the locals call it Central European. The only reason why some people might refer to Budapest as a Eastern European country is because after the Second World War it fell under the communist rule. So being part of like this Eastern Soviet kind of bloc made it a part of this whole Eastern European region, but truly it is like really not. Even from the looks of it, it would be more something like Vienna or Paris than any other geographically Eastern European country. So another thing about Budapest is that it is actually a very expensive city, in the center especially, I guess. So be careful about the exchange rate, especially. So it's pretty much 300 to 1. So like 10,000 forint would be something around 30 euros. So the other thing is the ATMs. They would very often offer like a very high amounts of forint. So just always press other amounts and choose something smaller, because at the end of the week or weekend it might actually drain your bank account if you're not paying attention. So now let's take a walk on the waterfront. So there is some exercising going on, and actually the tram is running just next to the waterfront, between the promenade and the river Danube. So all I can say is that this is really a nice spot, especially given the weather today. So it's very warm, it's even very hot. As you can see, there is a lot of people just chilling, doing their things, and just enjoying themselves. The city is really nice. You can see many trees, you can see the bridge over there which crosses on the other side. So now we are on the Pest side, which is essentially the side where everything happens. So that bridge crosses on the Buda side, where you can find the castle, Alabastia. So the rope bridge, we won't see it because it's basically being renovated. So it's all closed, it's all covered, there is nothing to see actually. And now we are right next to the water. The river Danube, the beautiful river Danube, separating Buda from Pest, with the castle all the way in the distance up there. As you can see right now, there is a lot of boats, so I guess many of them are like cruises you can take and probably just do a tour of the river at night, at day. So this is really agreeable, just to walk around here on the cobblestones and just see the river and just have a look at the other side. Um, it truly is a beautiful city. Okay, folks, we are back in the heart of the city. We are now in the Ruin Pub district, and this one is the most known one. It's called the Simpler Pub. It's essentially a neighborhood that has not been restored after the city has been bombarded. So all of the buildings, not all of them as you can see on the right, but many of them have remained kind of destroyed. And so what people did is they made the best out of it. And one example is this pub that actually served as a apartment block back then, where workers would essentially live. So these apartments then have been turned into what is called the ruin pubs. So very, very packed on the weekends. So as we distance ourselves from the simple pub, let me tell you a little bit more about it. So what happened back then is that once those apartment blocks have been turned into pubs, essentially, because the people who did that, they didn't really have any, means to decorate it, so they just used to grab whatever they could in the factories, on the streets, or whatever. So basically, the furniture inside of, especially this one, the furniture inside just doesn't make like really any sense. You can find everything from bathtubs to wooden, plastic chairs to whatever else one can imagine. But it has this like kind of chaotic charm to it that brings all together, and it really looks awesome inside. And here we are, our last stop on this visit of Budapest. So leaving the city soon, and this is Andrassy Street, so the most expensive street in Budapest. So the only kind of shops you will find on this street are like those very high-end marks and brands, and everything seems just super classy. It kind of reminds me of, like on a smaller scale, but it reminds me of Champs-Élysées in Paris, and I think that it's kind of like referred to it as the Champs-Élysées of Budapest. And to be honest, it makes sense. The street is really beautiful, and it's really worth a walk, a stroll just up and down, especially that at the very end of this street, there is the Hero Square. So the Hero Square, when I visited it the other day, was actually kind of changed into like a playground for kids. So everything was pretty much hidden, a lot of noise, and there wasn't much to see. So I skipped that part. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that this street is often used as a replica for Paris in movies, and because it's cheaper, like basically than the Paris itself. So anyway, Budapest, beautiful city, really beautiful city, well worth the visit. Can be expensive, so be prepared, but it's really worth even just a weekend. Just visit and see it.